Woke up this morning in the dark and could smell smoke all over the place. You can see it now that the sun's coming up. Hopefully it's a controlled burn or something. I have not seen any closure notices, no signs along the trail, and it was completely clear and did not smell smoke at all last night. I don't like being in heavy smoke. Had a couple of bad rounds of fires on the PCT in 2020. I generally don't freak out too much though if there's heavy smoke like this, because I've just seen weird incidents. I was out leading a trip in the desert, Sierra Club trip, big group, yada yada, and we ended up just stuck in this giant thing of smoke. Couldn't figure out what the heck was going on, what can even burn out there. It was a forest fire in China that had hit the jet stream and was being dropped out in Nevada. Here I'll just have to see. I should be getting reception because I'm going to be climbing up to 10K, so I'll try and poke around and figure out what's going on. Sometimes I'll message Jen or Dennis and see if they can look something up, but this doesn't feel that important. Smoke actually seems to be clearing out a little bit. There is a timber harvesting operation in the distance though. They're making quite a racket. Today I basically have a 7-mile climb-ish to get me 2,000 some feet up, and that'll get me over 10,000, and then it's basically a descent into Cuba. It's about 30 miles. I'm still kind of easing into it. My shoulders are sore, and I feel my calf at the end of the day. So I'm gonna see if I can make like 15-ish miles, and then tomorrow see if I can maybe start a little earlier, get into town, get a hotel, do my resupply, do my charging overnight, and then set out for that next section. The next section I'm ideally gonna need to do a little longer days, which should be doable. I mean, I made 16 miles yesterday, and that was with a pretty late start. It was actually damn near impossible to get my tent stakes in last night. I couldn't find a rock anywhere near to try and beat them in, and the sticks were all crumbling. That is one of the advantages of the semi-freestanding tent, though. I can actually set this up without stakes if need be, and then just weigh it down from the inside. Due to the fact I constantly seem to backslide into these lazy starts, I can only conclude I am a highly lazy individual. Granted, I was a software engineer for 20 years where dedication plus laziness makes you a much better worker. It does take me a little while to kind of settle back into my routine as far as the videos. Every time I head out on a new trip, first video, first couple always take longer. As you can see, smoke seems to have dissipated completely, which is bizarre, considering I'm pretty sure it was the smoke that woke me up at 4 something this morning. It was still below freezing last night, but not nearly as bad as the night before. I didn't even put my down pants or anything on, as if you couldn't tell from the background noise. That is part of the reason why I always avoid camping near even these more remote dirt roads. There is a few things more disruptive than timber trucks hurling down roads nearby in the middle of the night. We camped near a road in the Sierra at a trailhead, and I swear the entire group never got more than 40 minutes of sleep in one go. At this rate, I might actually make it out of my fleece and long johns today. Well, it looks like that's where the smoke's coming from. Must just settle down into the valley I was in when it got cold and damp at night. The good news is I am currently hiking away from said smoke. I was really surprised last year when I had basically no wildfire issues. I mean, we saw flames once and we had smoke for like 2-3 days, but I was expecting the nightmare that was the year before. Some folks I know were out on the CDT that year, and yeah, it was just a cluster. And then again last year, no real fires other than New Mexico. So the northbounders ended up catching it instead of the southbounders. They are still a concern down here. They had a couple of them in the Black Hills, which is pretty far south in the state. But it is late enough in the year where I'm at least hopeful the biggest danger is past. A couple of these water sources are pretty much completely iced over. Ambient isn't bad, but my friend Yield bitterly cold wind keeps coming back. So I'm just sweating in my layers. Yeah. Just spied a water jug off in the bushes up there. Pretty sure if it had anything in it, it's gonna be freaking frozen solid. And once again, hooray for trail maintenance. That was actually a really fun climb. Nice and gradual. It's basically downhill to Cuba from here, 20 some miles. At the moment, I'm just trying to push onto a water source because it's getting to be that time where my camp water has left me and I could use a nice bit of cameling up. Every time I'm shivering uncontrollably from drinking this icy water, I try and remember it was just a couple of months ago in Louisiana, where everything was boiling and we were killing for anything that was the slightest bit chilled. Speaking of chilled, so much for getting out of the long john layers of the fleece today. Wind picked up in the afternoon and yeah, felt like it was coldish first thing in the morning, pleasant in late morning, and then in the afternoon the wind dropped the temperature. That last bit looked a bit underdeveloped. Once again, the trail had jumped sides of the meadows and I hadn't noticed. Certainly feels different up here than this morning. Just saw a single cow, only one, and he is shy, so might be a feral one. All day I've expected that guy from this morning to pass me up. I passed him resting in the sun maybe a mile or two after I got started. But it's possible he's not a CDTer. Or hell, this is the CDT, so it is possible he decided to road walk around that big climb I went over. Apparently this reservoir does get fishermen. Per the water comments, reservoir's low, doesn't look great. There's a creek down here that has a trickle. That's going to be my night water, assuming I can fill up. Otherwise, I got enough with me as an emergency. But then I have to make a bad choice. Do I want to give up the hot dinner or the morning coffee? Okay. Drink worse. Yeah, that's not too bad. Just gotta watch out for little fish. Taters would never forgive me. 4:30, I've got my water for the night. I'm at around 15 miles, so I'm gonna aim for, well, let's see, might be able to make 19 or so. Still not sure quite how fast I'm moving, other than I'm slowing down a little bit at the end of the day when I start feeling my calf. I'm still not too horribly worried about my pace, but I do need to pick it up south of Cuba, which is only like 13, 14 miles from here, by the way. And the reason why I need to pick up the pace is because long water carries. When I was taking a break back there, I verified the 24 or 25 mile one that I'd heard about on Facebook. So, see, this is why you pay attention to the Facebook groups. The good news is that at least some of that looks to be road walking, and flat road walks generally lead to higher mileage. Oh man, just spooked a big herd of them. Well, I didn't hear any bugling. Last year I didn't hear any bugling out here, so I was all excited when I started hearing it in the San Juans. Yet another reason I was so bummed to have to take those 3 weeks off trail. But oh well, back out here now. So I have a nice place. It's got enough internet to at least send messages and whatnot. But I'm always tempted to just go like a little bit further. Made it 19 miles today, which is fine, ramping up. I did basically 15, 16 and a half, 19. But yeah, always tempted. And then the moment I, get a little past dark, I'm like, oh, damn it, why didn't I stop? It's funny, trail's right over there, but I've seen so few people, I'm just going to set up right here. Normally I would go, a ways down and like make sure I was maybe visible from the trail, but that nobody was going to come by. And after screwing around on the internet, 6:22 set up. It is getting noticeably colder up here, so I am looking forward to my sleeping bag. I'm about 11 miles from Cuba, so that should make for an easy day tomorrow. Get in. I'm waiting to hear back from Jen on hotel options. My hope is to stay overnight, charge everything, resupply, etc., and then push on to Grants and be going a little harder. Home sweet home.